can you tell us what happened? What has happened? On July 20th, 1973. Is there anything special happened that day?
Yes, it's a long time to recall, but I remember I got a telephone call from Betty Ting, who asked me to go to her flat to see a patient.
To see a patient. What can you name the name of the patient?
She didn't tell me who it was. She just said that somebody's sick and asked me to go to her place as soon as I could.
Right. About what time? In the morning, in the afternoon, or?
Well, I think it's probably sometime in the afternoon.
Yeah.
But it's such a long time. I think it's in the afternoon.
Right.
Yeah.
So when you arrived to Betty Ting's house, did you see anyone else at that house?
No, not as far as I can recall.
So just Betty?
Betty, myself, and a patient.
And the patient?
Yes.
So can you tell me who was that patient that day at Betty's house?
I was a bit surprised because I found Bruce Lee lying there in bed quietly.
Right. So was he awake when you arrived, or he was just sleeping on the bed?
No, he was just lying there without any signs of...
Unconsciously lying there?
That's right.
I see. So you've got a call from Betty in the afternoon, and then you went to her house, and then you saw Bruce Lee lie on the bed unconsciously. And what did you do then?
Well, I had a quick look at him, looked at his pupils, and found that the pupils actually were quite dilated. And when I listened to the heart, there was no heartbeat. So it's obviously that he was not alive.
Right. So what did you do? Did you call the ambulance, or?
Well, I tried to do some resuscitation and did some external cardiac massage, but obviously it was not going to help. So I quickly asked for the ambulance to come to take him to a public hospital.
Right. So can you tell me, how long did you know Betty Ting? Or was she your patient?
Well,
then?
she's been a patient of mine on and off for several years. I can't say exactly how long, must be at least 4 or 5 years.
Right. You mean before the death of Bruce Lee?
Yes, before the death of Bruce Lee.
All right. So, what's that called again? Acquagesic. Yeah. What is acquagesic?
Now, acquagesic is actually a combination of 2 drugs. It contains a drug called Equinel, which is a tranquilizer, and it also contains an analgesic similar to aspirin.
What is that for?
It's usually it's a type of painkiller, which also calms you down a little bit. In other words, it's a painkiller with a tranquilizer.
Well, is there a lot of people prescribe this sort of medicine?
Well, in those days, it was a very popular drug.
All right. So, do you prescribe, or do you know anyone to prescribe this to Betty Ting?
No, I don't know.
You don't?
I don't think I have prescribed it to her.
Right. Have you got
Can people buy that particular acquagesic at the drugstore?
I think in Hong Kong you can. Maybe overseas they are more strict and you require a prescription.
One doesn't have
you
to
can
have
those
a
days.
prescription.
Yes, you can.
About Bruce Lee, do you know he has been taking acquagesic?
No, actually I don't know Bruce Lee personally. That's the first time I met him. But we know him through his films because he's a big idol of my son.
There was a lot of talks, rumor or whatever, talking about Bruce died of something else, especially about sex and that kind of things. Was there any sign that you saw when you first see him? Something like that.
No, I don't think so. When I saw him, he was just lying nicely in bed, well dressed, no sign of any violence or any other struggling. So to me, when I first saw him, I thought he was asleep.
Right.
I think this is very good to clear a lot of people's mind.
Yeah. Because a lot of people thought, you
were-
were his
I know.
doctor. So actually, the day that was the first time you met
That's
him.
right. That was the first time I ever saw him.
Right.
And I never knew that he's been seen by Dr. Peter Wu or Dr. Langford before.
Mhm.
Only subsequently, when we started talking, then I found out that he's been seen by them.
I see.
There was a coroner inquest on
That's
this.
right. Yes.
Were you been asked by the coroner inquest to testify or say whatever?
Oh yes, I had to go and testify because after all, I was the last person to see him. Yes. But I think if my memory serves me right, it happened during the weekend. So it was not until the next week when they were able to do all these special blood tests on him. And a lot of the things might have been decomposed by then.
You mean within the body?
The things in the blood, yes. Yes.